It's back. After a brief interval of 3 to 4 years, Hyundai has reintroduced the new Santro in India. Spotting a space left vacant with the discontinuation of the Hyundai i10, Hyundai has positioned the Santro above the Eon. I am here in the city of Bhubaneswar to tell you everything there is to know about it, so do stay tuned. Before you do that, please do like, share and subscribe to the Autotech Review for all the latest action from the automotive industry.
We are heroes tonight.
Now the front fascia is a smiling face. In fact, the cascading grille up front with the chrome surround looks really chic. You also have plenty of bits which have been borrowed from previous Hyundai vehicles, so you know the headlamps are reminiscent of the i10 as well as the Grand i10. You also have these large fog lamps which have been positioned a bit up to give it a bigger and bulkier look. The hood as well has been nicely sculpted. Moving over to the side, you have very definite character line. So you see this boomerang shaped character line which has been given up front. It's also present in the rear, so it gives the new Santro a definite look and also a very aesthetic and modish appeal. You also have 14-inch rims. These are of course hubcaps on top of the rim. There is no alloy wheel on offer. 14-inch tires. The side profile looks nice. There are a few design elements to enhance the space on the interior, so you can see the belt line has been curved a little bit over here and there are larger window panes on the side. The design rounds up very well in the rear. You have these neat lines which are sharp when they exit the tail lamp and sort of blend into the boot right above the Hyundai logo. The overall finish as well of the design of the boot complements the overall design scheme that has been introduced on the new Santro. Moving over to the inside, there are plenty of features on offer. The fit and finish is exceptional and you have a lot of design elements which does give the Santro a very aesthetic appeal and it looks upmarket as well. You have these goldenish kind of inserts all around the AC vents as well on the steering and where the gear lever has been placed. Lot of features to play around with. Your Hyundai is offering rear AC vents as well. You have power windows for all 4 windows, steering mounted controls, USB and 12 volt charging sockets. You also have a rear camera with rear parking sensors. I'll be elaborating a little more on the features, but to tell you a little bit, the comfort of this seat is pretty good. I feel I'm sitting pretty comfortably and the bolstering is adequate. Maybe could have done with a little more bolstering on the side, but overall the comfort while driving this vehicle even on highways is pretty good. Ample of headroom, so the new Santro is a bit shorter than the old version, approximately 30 mm. That said, I still feel there is plenty of headroom while I am seated. A few drawbacks which I did figure was the lack of an option to adjust the steering column and also the option of adjusting the driver's seat height. Let's also move over to the rear and check out how it is out there. So the second bench is pretty comfy and there is ample of knee room and plenty of room to stretch out. Under thigh support as well is really good and the backrest angle is fantastic. So lot of support for my back and I'm sitting quite comfy. Headroom as well is quite generous and for reference my height is 5'7" and this seat has not been adjusted. Still I'm pretty comfortable. Large window panes in the rear as well lend a very roomy feeling. So overall comfort inside as well is good. The bench is flat, so whoever is sitting in the middle as well will be comfortable. That said, I would definitely feel 4 people are comfortable inside this cabin. 5 would be a slight squeeze. Hyundai is also offering rear AC vents and these AC vents are pretty effective. I'm sitting and it's quite hot, yet I am getting cooling in this complete zone. So I'm sitting quite comfortably inside the cabin. So I'm driving around in the all new Hyundai Santro and the first impressions are quite good. The Santro is powered by a 1.1 litre 4-cylinder petrol mill. This is a previous engine which has been used by Hyundai. The engine puts out approximately 69 PS of power, coming in at 5500 rpm. Peak torque of 10.1 kgm comes in at 4500 rpm. So you do need to rev this engine a little bit for it to get to the meat in the power band, and once it's there, of course, the engine does pick up pace quite quickly. Now Hyundai has introduced an all-new AMT on the new Santro, mated to the 1.1 litre 4-cylinder engine. It's also available with a 5-speed manual transmission. The AMT unit is not your conventional one that is driven by hydraulic actuators, but you have electronic motors which shift the gears for you. So for city driving convenience, the Santro definitely scores top marks because the gear shifts are a lot smoother, a lot quicker. If you're ambling around in city traffic from speeds of up to 35 to 45-50 kmph, gear shifts are not noticeable. You are cruising pretty comfortably. Even on highways, it's only when you put your foot down on the accelerator that you will notice the gear shifts as the vehicle starts gathering momentum. Now the manual, the clutch is light and the gears get slotted pretty easily. We haven't experienced any notchy gear changes, and the acceleration as well is fun. The engine is a high revving unit, so it redlines somewhere around 6200 rpm. The steering has been weighted exceptionally well, so the steering is on the lighter side, but it's a torque steer, so what you have actually is a quicker return, and you'll notice that when you're taking sharp turns, when you're taking a U-turn, the steering comes back to center quite quickly. That feel of the steering as well is really good. Braking on the new Hyundai Santro has been facilitated by disc brakes in the front and drum brakes in the rear. The braking is progressive, so when you actually do put your foot down on the brake pedals, you can feel the ABS with EBD kicking in. ABS with EBD, by the way, is being offered as standard on the new Hyundai Santro. Aside from ABS, Hyundai is also offering driver airbag as standard, and the top spec Asta variant gets passenger airbags as well. Other features on the safety front include auto door lock, that is a speed sensing auto door lock, and a crash sensing auto door unlock. Now the suspension on the new Hyundai Santro has been softly sprung. It gobbles up most undulations and bumps rather well, and you don't really feel a lot of that in the cabin. The speed breakers as well, with a good ground clearance, this is able to clear most speed breakers, so you need to be careful with the smaller potholes, but the bigger ones and ditches the Santro can take care of pretty easily. We did find the suspension setup on the new Hyundai Santro a little better than that of what is being offered on competition. Now when it comes to NVH levels, I feel that the Hyundai Santro is at par with competitors. Especially when you're revving the engine hard, there is a lot of noise which comes in from the engine bay. Road noise as well can be heard, as well as wind noise. The NVH levels are at par with competition. I wouldn't say it's worse than competition, but definitely it's not better than competition. Hyundai has offered a lot of features on the new Santro. So you have reverse parking camera, reverse parking sensors on offer, steering mounted controls, voice recognition. You also get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity for the touchscreen infotainment system, which definitely streamlines mobile phone usage, and the driver can conveniently navigate as well and operate other mobile functions. Now, unlike what is being offered on competition, the touchscreen infotainment setup on the new Hyundai Santro is quite good. In fact, the touch response as well as the response of the processor is quick, so definitely enhances the user experience of using this infotainment setup. The instrument cluster on the Hyundai Santro does offer quite a few features, and it's a digital and part analog setup. So the speedometer is an analog one, the RPM gauge as well is an analog setup. fuel indicator, mileage, etc., gear position indicator, those are all digital setups. Now, barring the fact that there is no tilt and telescopic adjustment for the steering column, and of course there is no driver seat height adjustment as well, I find that the point of view of the driver is neat. The large windscreen up front as well gives you a really good position and you have clear visibility in front. The side view mirrors as well give a clear visibility of all four corners, so you have good visibility aided with the rear parking camera and not too large dimensions. So talking of dimensions as well, the new Hyundai Santro is longer and wider than the previous version. It is shorter like I mentioned before, but there is a lot more space on the new Santro. Hyundai is also offering a Diana green color on the Santro, and it gets these green color accents in place of the gold finish accents that are available on the other color variants. The Diana green color comes in around the instrument cluster on the knobs for the infotainment unit, around the AC vents, as well as the gear lever. You also have these green colored seat belts. So it looks overall quite chic. Talking a little about the acceleration. So with this AMT, the setup holds the gear really well and it upshifts around 6000 RPM when you are at full throttle. At part throttle, of course, the gear shifts come a little earlier, but when you are driving and you put your floor down on the accelerator, it will hold the gear all the way up till 6000 RPM. So to sum things up for you, I feel that the new Hyundai Santro is definitely worth what Hyundai has priced it at and comes with a lot of features. The base variant, the Delight variant, misses out on air conditioning, which is of course something that is direly needed. But speaking with Hyundai representatives, we learned that is merely for the price orientation and of course positioning the vehicle. This has been positioned above the Eon, so it is not your entry level segment car. The Hyundai Santro will be taking on the likes of the Maruti Suzuki Celerio and the Maruti Suzuki Wagon-R along with the Tata Tiago. So if you are looking at picking up one of those vehicles, I definitely suggest you go to a Hyundai showroom today, check out one for yourself, and do let us know your feedback after driving the vehicle. If you have any queries, please do hit us up in the comment section below. If you haven't done it yet, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Autotech Review channel for all the latest action from the automotive industry. Until the next time, see you.